All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the BSL, the bombastic Star League you've ever seen. My name is Rapid. I'm here with Nyokin, Zero behind the scenes, and a bunch of awesome people in chat. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is going to be the sickest. I'm so excited for today's group, tomorrow's group. The BSL round of 16 is going to be so good. What do you think, Nyokin?
Yeah, we got two amazing groups remaining, and today we've got two Zergs, two Protoss, but I'm okay with that, Rapid, because we already got two Terrans make it into the round of 8, so this is okay with me. I'm fine with that. So do we have predictions? We got a clear favorite this time in Bonyth, but it's all up in the air for second place, I assume.
I concur with your expert analysis there, Nyokin. I think that we haven't seen Bonyth play in a little bit. I watched him play a little bit of ladder, and then I think STPL. No, because he switched teams. That's right, such a dirty traitor. But anyway, no, Bonyth is the truth. Bonyth is so good. He's one of the best non-Korean players out there. He hasn't even trained in Korea to do it. He's so good. But honestly, the next three are a little bit up for grabs. We've got kind of the Americans, and by Americans I mean the American continent, north and south, because GoSuDark representing as our resident Peruvian, so of course guaranteed to make it out somehow, I don't know. But cRoSs, the man that almost stopped Artosis from getting the Corrupted Cup, but couldn't quite do it. Of course, he is a Canadian citizen, but he is also very, very strong. And our fellow American Korean Jae-yoon, very, very strong as well. So I totally agree. I think we're going to have a close battle for second, but I don't know how good cRoSs is, or cRoSs, he goes by both of them. But I do know how good Jae-yoon is, and GoSuDark also shows some really sick strats too.
Yeah, so GoSuDark, I already called it in round of 24 that I thought he might go to top 4, but now I see this group and I think, well, it's going to be a little rough because cRoSs is very good. He's very up to date with current builds, and we know that the 9734 is very trendy these days.
Yeah.
So he's going to be killer with that. GoSuDark, though, I play him on ladder. I'm like, oh, he's doing this, and then he just shows up with something completely different. I remember specifically, I fast expanded. I thought he was going DT. No. 4-gate speed zealot. So this guy can pull out anything. So even if 9734 is Imba right now, cRoSs isn't going to know what hit him if GoSuDark pulls out a patented GoSuDark build. And then there's Jae-yoon, he's drone man. So if he gets to late game, he's going to run you over. But like I said, GoSuDark's got clever builds. If he can hit before you're ready, maybe GoSuDark can make it out, but also cRoSs very standard, maybe he makes it out.
Well, I don't know what to expect, but I do know that Bonyth getting like less than second place or less than first place in this group would be kind of an upset. So we're kind of here tonight to watch the Bonyth show, but also there's a chance that there's an upset, right? I mean, we are playing best ofs, so maybe not the biggest chance, but honestly, any opportunity to watch the Bonyth play, it's going to be a good one. So can't wait to watch it. I also think that our map pool will probably not change. I don't think that we're going to see the emergence of Oxide today, but I'm holding out hope that one of these days we will get that map eventually.
Yeah, if we do take a look at the map pool, we've got Sylphid as expected. Actually, we've got a different map pool this time. We got Sylphid, then Ground Zero, and then Bloody Ridge. So this is a little surprising. No power bond, Rapid.
Yeah, where's my power bond? I demand a recount. But getting into Sylphid, I think, is kind of a nice neutral one. Ground Zero is kind of the test, and man, if we get to Bloody Ridge, I don't know. We just got a whole lot of everything going on there. So not sure exactly what to expect from this, but I know it's always a treat to watch Bonyth play. And cRoSs, kind of a new up-and-comer, really exploding onto the scene kind of out of nowhere now that he's over in Canada. Of course, as a North American representative, he's, of course, here to represent that. There should be like a flag for the North American continent, so I don't have to keep specifying which part of North America it is. But I'll take what I can get. Okay, I'm ready to do this. Let's get into the first match of Group C. This is going to be between cRoSs and Bonyth, and the map will be Neo Sylphid. So let's go. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the opening of Group C. This is game number 1, and starting in the 12 o'clock location on the map, Sylphid. This is our teal Zerg player, cRoSs.
In the bottom right, we've got the Protoss repping the magenta color. It is Bonyth. Now, Rapid, cRoSs, I think, was number 4 in the BSL qualifier. He had like 2390 MMR, which is really high because now ladder's global. But I was informed yesterday
Okay.
that Bonyth has 2550 MMR. And
Yikes.
he's 90 and 8. So this is a legit 90% win rate with the highest MMR I've ever seen a foreigner get. Just him and True Touch, I think, have clipped 2550. I don't know if anybody's ever hit 2600, but that's crazy high.
Yeah, I know Dwal was really, really high, maybe like 24 or something while he was out here in Korea. And that's pretty remarkable. And I think that was before Global Ladder too. So nothing to shake a stick at. But for Bonyth, no one's arguing this guy is the truth. So let's see what he has to show against cRoSs. Also, of course, a big shout out to our now very neon colors. We got that nice magenta for Bonyth and the exact same color as Minerals on the mini map. cRoSs, who's going to know where his units are? He's going to position his units in an arc out on the map, and I'm just going to think it's Minerals. So don't blame me for that one. Blame the colors. But either way, I don't know what to expect. It is PBZ, and man, if there was ever a way to persuade Bonyth to build a Reaver, I hope this is it. I have seen him kind of bringing that back, and I just want that out of every game that I watch of his.
Yeah, I really do like the Reaver openers, but we do have a gateway expand from Bonyth, and I don't know if he knows cRoSs, but cRoSs, like I said, he's very up to date on builds, so he's definitely going to go for 934 if he can get it. And gateway expand already throws that for a loop, so this could be Bonyth reading cRoSs. And
also, he's about to lose his drone. So that's obviously not according to plan. It's got like 2 hits left. Obviously, it's regenning, but still, 2 hits is 2 hits. And so now there's a very scared drone wandering out on the map with about 10 hit points. We'll see how long that lasts. First Zealot out.
Yeah, Zealot might just come in here and just smack him right in the face. Let's see.
Here we go. The heat-seeking Zealot missile straight towards the drone's fleshy body.
So luckily for cRoSs, he's already building a couple more links because he needs some more links to make sure that this Zealot doesn't do work. Now I'm trying to get a look at the Minerals, I guess, at the third base. There seems to be not really great areas for the Zealot to run and hide. I guess maybe at the top and at the bottom, but with this probe here, it's going to deal a lot of damage, and cRoSs, I don't think he's going to get it this natural.
Block it. Ooh, almost didn't block it. I don't know how many units you need to out heal the building hatchery. I don't know if you need like 2, 3 Zealots, whatever, because that was very low there for a second. But there are 6 lings out, so we're gonna have to wait for Zealot number 2 before we can really start to fight that. But this is where we get a chance to see how good Bonyth's micro is, because his Zealots are coated in butter.
Well, cRoSs did get the probe, which is a big find for him. Lings are trying to get us around on the Zealots. I think Bonyth is just going to turn around now. He's forced out a decent amount of lings. Behind this, we do have the Nexus coming out. He's got... Whoa! Do you see that forge? It's in the main.
I see the... Whoa! What is... Okay, so... Walk this one by me, Nyokin. See... I may not know many things about StarCraft, but one thing I do know is that the forge goes in the front of your natural.
Yeah, this is a bit weird, but I was watching Zero's 9734 translation, and he was saying if you pick off the forge, not that it's a free one, but you're in a good position, and this might be because Bonyth knows that it's likely we're going to see that, and he doesn't want to lose +1. I'm just guessing here because I can't even remember the last time I saw a forge in the main. We'll have to still see if cRoSs is going to go for something like that. So far, he's got gas mining. He's got a decent amount of resources too, but he's forcing out so many lings.
Yeah, I do like that there are a lot of lings, but obviously the Zealot getting in is maybe not totally according to plan. The Cyber Core and the wall off is really interesting. I mean, I guess you really, really hate to lose your forge, but also losing the cyber core is super annoying too. So I'm still waiting to figure out how this works, because this is actually the first time I've ever seen this wall off. I get it, the way you explained it, Professor Nyoken, but at the same time, it is still kind of new to me.
Zealot gets in here, sees there's no lair. I don't know if he's gotten a glimpse at the third base for a while, but he saw there's no lair, which means that it's definitely going to be speed. And now really he just needs to get up a couple more Zealots, maybe one more cannon, and he'll be good to go versus any Ling aggression. Now cRoSs is going for the Hydra Den, and there is no lair, but his econ has been severely hurt because of how many Lings he's built. So Bonyth is going into the mid game fantastic, and there goes the Forge. It is spinning, and there's no way that's getting picked off.
Yeah, I mean, Caster Curse would have to kick in really hard for that one. So yeah, that's going to be safe and sound. Obviously, like I said, it's still annoying to lose the Cyber Core, but I'm waiting to see what the exact commitment is. Already, of course, there's Hydra Den on the way, Hydra Speed working away there, and Citadel about halfway done. Should coincide nicely with this +1.
Yeah, now I wonder if Bonyth is going to build a goon to try and pick off this Overlord. We don't see it just yet, but he's gone straight Citadel. He's got more gates coming up. He's going to probably go up the 4 gate right here, and probably going to have a fast Temple Archive, so a DT coming out would be really nice. And we do have cRoSs. He has started building Hydralisk and still no lair, so he really needs to get damage done. 4th hatch going up. I don't know though. I just don't see how he's going to get damage done versus someone that opens straight Citadel, and Speed's just started.
Yeah, well, I mean, Speed, yeah, you mean Zealot Speed, right?
Yeah, Zealot Speed just started.
Okay. But look at the F2 that was just done, like the movement of all Zerglings straight to the front as the first Hydras are speeding their way across the map. Hydra Speed just now finishing up, and so that means that we are in full-on go mode. Like you said, there is no lair. We are just doing it off of, how many hatchers do we got? We're going up to 5? 1, 2, 3, 4 hatches, it looks like it's going to be.
He's got 4 right now. I keep clicking everywhere to see if there's a lair. Still no lair, but that's a lot of Hydras that are already out, and these Zealots don't have speed just yet. It is still only 1 cannon. 2nd cannon isn't completed just yet. Imagine if cRoSs went right now. I think he could jump on that building cannon. He might actually just straight up win, but he's hesitating a bit. And he may miss his window.
I mean, it feels bad to go for a Hydra bust and then like go right before all of your Hydras are there. They are still kind of rallying their way across the map with, I think, a drone's in there somewhere. But here we go. Hitting those Zealots at the front. They're going to pull back and forward. This is a nice little dance. Cannon getting off a couple of shots there. Cybercore not looking so healthy. It is going to go down here, but at least it's not the Forge, right?
Yeah, +1's about to hit. He's got, okay, here we go. Hydra's trying to come in here. There's no speed. This is a great timing. Only 2 cannons. Bonyth has got to pull probes, but he's got nothing to drill on. cRoSs might just end it. There's an overwhelming amount of Hydras. Still 12 standing. He can just pick off probes at this point.
Yeah, it's a nice probe wall, so at least the cannons are getting a little bit of hashtag value, trying to buy time, but these cannons warping in behind them. They're just about to finish, and somehow not all of those probes died. I was definitely expecting higher casualties, but now that there's 3, 4, 5 cannons up, I don't know how much further we're going with this Hydra bust.
Yeah, cRoSs may have just stepped a little bit too far. Wasn't able to pick off as many probes as he wanted, but still Bonyth took a lot of damage there. His Temple Archive just started. I would have assumed that this was going to get up much faster. That means Storm's not going to be out on the map for a very long time, and we've got just continued Hydra production. This is 15 Hydras, but that's a lot of Zealots, and they do have +1 now.
That is true, and of course, it's, with his legs as well, I think that's probably the most important thing. This number is going to continue to grow 3 at a time, and once you get up to like a control group, those Hydras are definitely going to have to head for the hills, so lair at least finally on the way, so at least there's a plan after this.
Well, I'm looking at the saturation for cRoSs. Zero talks about just power droning after the initial push, and we don't see that at all. And cRoSs's econ is really hurting. Here comes Bonyth now moving out with +1. He's got almost an equal amount of Zealots to the Hydras. Any pickoff right here is going to be critical. And look at what cRoSs has. There's no Sunkens at any base.
Ooh, yeah, I mean, there's some nice Sim City at the front, at least with the Evo chamber to the natural, but the third base is wide open. Oh my goodness. This third base is like when you go to the dentist and he wants to look inside, he's like, open wide, say, that third base is very vulnerable. But thanks to some more reinforcements, cRoSs's going to push Bonyth back. The only problem is that, like, I mean, cRoSs's investing quite a bit into units that I don't think can win the game for him, so hopefully this keeps him alive. But this is a really interesting kind of back and forth.
Yeah, cRoSs definitely needs to start getting his drone count up. It's pretty good at his third base, but the natural is severely lacking. Almost no econ there. And Bonyth, sure, he lost a lot of probes, or a decent amount of probes in the beginning. But one thing that I noticed with Bonyth is this guy, he will not miss probes. Look at the main, look at the natural. It's perfectly saturated, maybe even oversaturated. So his econ is killer, and we can see it reflected in the supply. It's 82 to 58. And like you said, cRoSs cannot win with this attack. We've got DTs and Templar out, so he's not really going into the mid game in the position you want to be in as third.
Yeah, for sure. Having to make so many like Zerglings early on and then commit so much to Hydras that, I mean, they killed a Cyber Core. And maybe they forced out quite a few cannons, but I mean, better safe than sorry there. So now sort of the shoe is on the other foot for Bonyth. He needs to figure out how to get a third base, and he's got to deal with a few of these forces out on the map. Look at how well he's doing, sneaking the DT through as well.
Yeah, DT was able to get by, but cRoSs has an Overlord set up at all of his bases. Really shouldn't get much damage done. But at this point, cRoSs, he needs to have a 6 hatchet. Okay, there he does. He puts it at top right. He would probably ideally want to start getting a 4th base at this point, but not able to do so. And Bonyth, he's starting to flood out those gateways. We've got 8 gate now, and the cybernetics, even though it went down, it was rebuilt in the main. He's starting to get range, and he's going for that big supply block. He's even got double forge, so it's not just going to be +2, it's going to be a 2-1 timing.
You said he's going for that big supply block. You're right. He is going for that big supply block. He is his next pylon is not happening for a while.
Yeah, he did get supply blocked, but he's still gonna have really big power spike pretty soon. Here come the zealots. This is so many zealots.
Wow, that is so many zealots. Like exactly so many. It's 1, 2, 3, and then you ... to so many zealots. So they are going to try. Now there is a sunken at the third base now, and there are a couple sunkens, and the SimCity is way better. So these zealots are going to have a little bit of a hard time. At least they scout the large number of mutas. So if you're a High Templar, you are not going to have a good time. There's a nice storm, mostly misses, and so the next storm actually a little bit better, but still these High Templar getting picked off does not bode well for Bonyth's ability to deal with massive amounts of units.
Yeah, this is perfect transition from cRoSs, and I was really expecting to see more Templars than this from Bonyth, and he lost 2. He only has 3. This one has banked up storms, but it's not like cRoSs is going to dive in here. So for now, cRoSs does weather the storm. It is 93 to 110. That's not bad for Zerg. Now he's going to pick off a Corsair.
Ooh, and that really hurts because now, I mean, you're trying to go for air units and you just cannot build up that critical mass. Now probes are starting to go down. The Muta's mobility just so good with the SimCity and Bonyth's base kind of working against him.
Yeah, backstab is going to be a real threat to Bonyth because he doesn't have the high Sair count. He's just now building it up. He doesn't have +1 on his Sairs either. The cannons, there's no cannons in the main. Here come those Mutas again. Right when the Dragoons move out, he pops in here. But that's 3 Sairs. Scourge. Almost get one, but no connection.
Now these Mutas are pretty heavily damaged, so even though there's only 3 Corsairs, they're still getting these Muta kills. And look at how they're keeping up the moving shot. Very, very well done here by Bonyth. He is doing a great job. He picked off 2, 3 Mutas there, and they're all in red health. So the Mutas are pretty done with right now, and that means it's time for Zealot Boys to head back out on the map.
cRoSs, he's gotten +1 weapon on his Hydras. He started +2 on his Hydras, so he's decently upgraded, but Bonyth already has 2-1. Drone count and probe count are pretty even. Bonyth's going to try and take a third base now, I guess. Oh, well, I thought he might actually sit, but no, he's going to get back out on the map. He saw that cRoSs wants to expand, and because he wants to expand, he definitely wants to deny this. But supplies are very close. Are there lurkers anywhere? There's no lurkers, and that might actually be the downfall for cRoSs, because you need lurkers when you're fighting an army like this.
You certainly do, yeah, for sure. Even if it's just to force out storms, Let's see. There are a few Scourge out there. I believe I saw a couple. So let's see how long this Observer stays alive. Obviously, look at the splitting there on these Hydras, pulling back away from the Zealots, but the Zealots actually getting really up close and personal, so they won't last forever, but they do thin out the Hydra count. So with Storms and the Dragoons from behind, I don't know if cRoSs's looking too hot here.
Yeah, all the Dragoons survived, and all the Mutas also went down. They only were able to pick off one Templar, and now cRoSs's in big-time trouble because, sure, he's got a Sunken here, but these goons can just range the hatcheries, and that will be half the production if those hatcheries go down. Up 40 supply at this point. Bonyth with the third base coming up. This is, oh, another Templar picked off, but I don't think cRoSs has enough units. He needs to back off.
Yeah, I think cRoSs is kind of overstepping his bounds. Like, just push the Protoss back. Don't actually run to him and fight, because then you're going to be running into Storms. There's more High Templars coming in on the way, I believe. And this third base looks like it will come up for Bonyth.
Yep, and now Bonyth has found some straggler overlords, and luckily for cRoSs, he's not going to get supply block just yet, but now he's reached critical mass on the, oh, well, now they're going to get picked off. One goes down.
He keeps getting close to that critical mass, but I don't think he's hit it yet.
Yeah, it's close, but now, anytime there's a fight on the map and the Hydra's got to go defend, he can try and pick off overlords, but so far, it hasn't happened yet. But I don't think it matters, because this third base, once this goes down, we're going to be back down to 3 hatch, and that's not what you need as Zerg. And meanwhile, Protoss just taking mid-right. He's just got complete map control at this point.
Wow. Yeah, I think this is Bonyth really sort of flexing on cRoSs a little bit. He's like, well, I just barely got my other base up. Time for a fourth. There's a little bit of a Hydra backstab coming through, but it's not all that strong. And honestly, neither is cRoSs right now. He's going to try to bring all the Hydras in from every angle. Man, these Dragoons, they're starting to pop here. Let's see if maybe Bonyth overextended a little bit. The DT is here. It is kind of going to town a little bit. There are still Storms left, and I don't see a whole lot left for cRoSs.
cRoSs's doing a good job picking off these Templars. He caught one reinforcing, and the supplies are still pretty close, 100 to 70. That's not horrible, but the issue is that the units just keep bleeding out, and we're not really synced up anywhere. If he could sync,
yeah,
I think he might be able to win a fight, but it's just not happening.
No, he's like leaking Hydras out of basically every orifice, and maybe there's a few out on the map that can catch some reinforcements, like, ooh, there's like 3 or 4 that could catch some High Templars, but he needs them too desperately to try to hold on to this base. DT going to town at the inner 12, and oh man, this is just starting to go from bad to worse for cRoSs.
Yeah, it's just starting to get too chaotic at this point. Perfect Storm blankets the Hydras and blankets some Overlords, but Bonyth does need to reinforce because, well, I guess it doesn't matter. He's got so many units, and cRoSs, yep, GG.
That is going to do it for our first game. Really well played there. I think cRoSs made that so tough for Bonyth. A lot of that pressure he put on the front door, and just how hard he made it for Bonyth to ever get a third base. But I mean, Bonyth, he's too good. He came out with just the amount of strength he needed in that push, and was able to take cRoSs down on game number 1. Now, I know cRoSs was kind of forced to make a lot of units early on. You think that's what kind of set him a little bit too far behind, Nyoken?
Yeah, I think Bonyth just had a soul read on cRoSs because Gateway Expand, that's like a really good opener versus the fast Hydra play, and then to not build your forge at the entrance of +1 doesn't get picked off. I've never seen that. So a complete soul read from Bonyth, and if you're cRoSs and you're facing someone that's thinking on this level, you're probably like, well, what do I do now? Because he just read everything.
You roll up and you expect to snipe the +1, and you're like, wait a second, that's not a forge. And it was kind of a big brain play because he did lose the Cyber Core, but he's just making Zealots, and you don't really need that for that. So very well played, but that's on sort of a pocketed third map, or 3-base map, or 3-player map. Now we're moving on to Ground Zero, and Ground Zero is just big. It's got a big 0 in the middle, but it has way more than that number of bases. There's what, 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 14 bases here? Wow. So this is going to be a very different style of game, especially just because it's a 4-player map. Anything can happen. So I'm excited to get into it. Are you ready, Nyoken?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay, well, let's do it. Game number 2. Bonyth leading 1-0. All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2. The map is Ground Zero, and in the upper right-hand corner, in the purple, from Poland, he's on Soul, but he's playing for himself and his life in the round of 16. It's Bonyth.
In the bottom right, you've got the new Canadian Zerg player. It is cRoSs. Yeah, so I don't know what cRoSs should do this time, because that was just... nothing went right.
Yeah, what more do you want from cRoSs? I feel like he played that pretty well. Maybe he overmade a little bit, but honestly, if that's your problem, yeah, that's not a big one.
You know what I like about Bonyth?
What?
He reminds me of Stork. So Stork I saw at WCG 2007 in person because I went to grand finals. And Stork, when he played back then, it looked like somebody just playing the piano. Like, it looks slow, but it was actually like 250 APM. It's just like so fluid, just does everything exactly right. And if you watch Bonyth, when I watch his stream, it's the exact same thing. He's not someone that's super chaotic, does not have 400 APM. He just nails his build. He's got good decision making. You can tell he's thinking about the game with the forge placement in the main. Okay, I'll lose my cybernetics. I don't care because I just want +1. This is somebody that you can imitate. It's not somebody that's effort-esque where he's just all over the map, 500 APM. You can imitate a guy like this, and he's just super solid all around. So I love how Bonyth plays, and I'm loving what we're about to see because we got...
That's it. 2 gateways, 10-12, I believe it was. Looking good here from Bonyth. I love to see the extra aggression. Now, thankfully, Drone Boy is scouting the right direction, or Drone Person, or Drone thing. I don't know if it has a gender, but it's there, and it's going to scout the 2 gates right on time. This is beautiful for cRoSs because he knows exactly what's coming his way, but it's still coming.
Yeah, and we see cRoSs went for 12 hatch, 11 pool, and I'm not too sure if this is the ideal opener for 2 gate. I think you want to go for 11 hatch 10 pool, but not a big difference, but it could snowball pretty hard if this zealot, and I imagine the probe syncs up together and starts getting a few ling pickoffs. Now cRoSs wants to deny the zealot as long as possible. We already saw the drone move out in front. Oh well, it did glitch a little bit there, but he's not doing what we see sometimes where players just constantly drill over and over and try and delay it as much as possible. But Bonyth actually turned around. I'm a little surprised.
Yeah, I too am a little bit surprised about that, especially when you open 2 gate. Obviously, that's a little bit of a sacrifice. You kind of want to get something done with that. But Bonyth is so good at judging the I don't know, just the feel of the map, when it's right to go with what. And so you were saying earlier, like, Bonyth's a guy that you can kind of imitate or learn from at least. But like, I feel like if you practice enough, you can get a little faster. But it's a lot harder for me, or it's a lot harder in general to get smarter. So I don't know. I think it's whichever you find yourself easier at. Now, at this time, he banked up to 3 zealots. He's got a couple more on the way, but you're right. It's about how much he can keep these alive. See how well he does here. Now, obviously, there is a sunken at the front, so that is a little bit of an investment on the drone, but it's still going to be a great way to stop these zealots from getting up close in person.
Yeah, cRoSs, he's trying to get a few lings out. Even if he can just get 2 or 3 lings out, okay, we're actually going to have an engagement.
Zealot micro, pulling it back. He saves it with 1 HP.
cRoSs is in trouble because he needs to get across the map with just a couple links, try and at least keep a couple zealots out, because now that they just constantly keep coming, we're approaching 7 zealots, soon to be 9. We don't even have 9 lings at this point, and cRoSs's econ is really shot. Meanwhile, sure, Bonyth isn't on 2 base just yet. He's just not put it down, but he's constantly building probes.
Is that... Okay, what is that gas drone doing in the mineral line? I'm watching it. I thought we had like a cadenza drone there for a second, but it is actually being put to work right now. So the Zerglings, man, they die awfully quickly. And we are up to 7 zealots, but not quite enough. And speaking of enough, sneaking these 6 lings out on the map, they're going to make it all the way into the main. Oh, no! Bonyth, how good's your probe drill? Ooh, not a great start. 1, 2, 3 drones going down. Maybe a few more. Only 3, but still, 3 is more than you want.
Well, Bonyth doesn't know it just yet, but cRoSs's pretty much all in. He's built a ton of speed links, and now that Bonyth has turned around, he's got enough zealots that can just hold position at the entrance. As long as they do that, don't let them in.
Let me in. He does need to make sort of the Great Wall of Zealot here at the front door, but even if it's not a perfectly, perpendicular wall, I think it's actually going to be okay. Down bottom, there's only one Zealot blocking a tiny hole, so that could be caught a little bit out of position. But this is just not going to work. I feel like cRoSs made the decision to all in, and Bonyth just kept making Zealots.
Yeah, cRoSs in big time trouble. You can see he's trying to transition now. He started rebuilding drones, but it's too late at this point. Our econ is really bad. Bonyth has his Nexus up.
Is he gonna lose his Overlord? Whoa! 24 HP. Almost gets taken down by that cannon. If the probes can do the Counter-Strike boost where they stand on each other's heads, they can zap that Overlord out of the sky. But it survives for now. So does Bonyth and cRoSs. I mean, he's expanding, he's building some drones, but this is all just for round 2, which is going to include the Hydra Den.
Yeah, cRoSs just gonna continue to all in. It's probably his only chance at this game because we've already got Stargate going up for Bonyth, and cRoSs, he doesn't have a lair. He just now put down his Hydra Den. There's no speed being upgraded. Okay, speed just now kicking in, but at least he has a lot of links, so he will have a lot of buffer for the incoming Zealot and cannon shots, but he needs to get out a ton of Hydras. I just don't see him ever outpacing Bonyth, and now 2 Dragoons come out and he's going to supply block cRoSs. This is painful.
This is going to be quite painful. I concur, Nyoken. I'm waiting, I'm watching. It doesn't seem like there is really anything cRoSs can do. He's at 26 out of 18. Those are low numbers. He built another Overlord, 26 out of 26. Oof, feels bad. And even though he is going to be going into this big Hydra push, he's going to have to build so many Overlords to be able to build the Hydras. I mean, I don't know. There's no silver lining to this cloudy build.
Yeah, if somehow cRoSs had Hydras right now, and he could go right now, maybe he could bust through. But now that the Overlords got picked off, Bonyth is going to have a Corsair out, and he's just going to send it across the map and see what's coming. And when he sees the low drone count combined with no lair, with no third base, he's just going to spam cannons. And then he's going to go into 8 gate, and there's just really nothing cRoSs can do. Or he may just supply block cRoSs again because he finds another low Overlord. Remember that Overlord that we thought was going to die to the cannon? Well, he just picks it off. Now he's going to go scout.
Well, hey, Bonyth is supply block too, so let's not only talk about one player supply block. He is going to be stuck at 58 out of 58 for a while.
Maybe
he's still not building a pylon.
Well, I don't even think it matters. We got 6 Hydras versus... Huh?
Replay bugged or something?
I don't think so. Citadel coming up.
Yeah, no, you're right. He just had 300 minerals and he still wasn't building a cannon, so I guess he wasn't building a pylon. But I guess he doesn't need pylons. Cannons are what's most important, so that's where the money's going. There we go. Pylon on the way.
His supply block was a pretty big block, but he knows he needs to not die. He's going to supply block him again. And
that's one way to stop a Hydra. Well, here we go. This is going to be it, right?
Here come. Yeah, the Zealots were moving into a funnel, which is not the greatest position to move into, and loses most of the Zealots. The Cybernetics is getting focused. I don't think, he may be able to get the Force, but it's going to be pretty hard, and it's almost done, so he probably isn't going to get it in time. But cRoSs is transitioning. He's got 4 hatch. He's got decent drone saturation across the board, but still no lair anywhere. Oh, here comes Bonyth again, going to try and break up, but still no speed, so we are bleeding off quite a bit of Zealots.
Yeah, but it's to force the Hydras to reposition so that they try to come forward and get hit by these cannons. And that's exactly what's happening here. The Hydras, these are just such a precious commodity. And he's starting to have them picked off, so even if he loses a couple of Zealots here, I think it's kind of worth it, because I don't think there's any way cRoSs breaks this wall.
Yeah, he's not breaking it. He's not building any more Hydras at this point. +1 did kick in. We've got the next couple gates coming in. Speed, did it finish? Okay, it did finish. And we do have the first DT out, and because he's pushed the Overlords back consistently, the DT should be able to get across the map. Or did it get picked off? No. Okay, now it's just now exiting the natural, and the Overlords are just now moving out of the way.
Well, there are 4 total Overlords in this game, so I mean they're all like 3 of them are at the natural, and then one of them's out at the 3 o'clock, or 3 o'clock. So there's just not a lot of detection out there for cRoSs right now. So let's see where these DTs are gonna go.
Yeah, and with no Spire, these Overlords that are just out in the center of the map, they just get picked off for free. It also forces cRoSs to come and try and save them, and because he tries to save them, he loses the Hydralisk. And this is probably just be the death blow from Bonyth, because even though he doesn't have very much, there's just flat out not much for cRoSs. Third is wide open. Sunken is way back.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Mr. Sunken's going to be okay, but Mr. Overlord's above it, maybe not quite so much. As soon as those Corsairs head down there, that base is dead.
Okay, there he goes, round 2. I was surprised that he didn't go for it when he saw the Sunken all the way back. Now he comes in, he's going to get... well, maybe this one Sunken can hold in combination with the drones. Where'd the DT go? Oh, they're just trying to intercept these Hydras. Look at this, perfect!
That's such a big brain play. You know the Hydras need to come down to save this base to stop the Corsairs. So instead of having the DTs there at the base, you just kill the Hydras on their way.
Now he wipes out the Overlords and GG.
Damn. Bonyth, slow down. Put the brakes on, my man. What an incredible, incredible series for Bonyth. Game number 1, actually not a whole lot of fault with cRoSs. Bonyth just kind of did Bonyth things. But game 2, I really felt like cRoSs was kind of stuck in desperation mode a little bit.
Yeah, he tried to make magic happen with the Speedlings, and every time he tried to send out, those 8, they just ran into Zealots and lost like 4 immediately. He was really just not able to control them. But Bonyth, he was just doing Bonyth things. It looked amazing, other than the pylon blocks. But I mean, that still didn't matter. He just crushed it.
Yeah, not a whole lot to say about that. I think we're going to see maybe a little bit more of that later on, because this group is a little bit top heavy with Bonyth as maybe a clear favorite. I don't know what's going to happen next.